Hey everyone, welcome to another Adobe Illustrator tutorial. In this one, we'll take a look on how you can navigate in Adobe Illustrator while you are working. This includes zooming in, zooming out, and pan around. So I have opened this podcast cover design file, and if you want to use the same file, there's a link in description, you can download it from there. So to grab the zoom tool, you have to come to toolbar, and if you go down, you can see a magnifying lens icon, which is zoom tool. So if you click on it, it will get activated. And you can also use the hotkey, which is Z. So if you just press Z from your keyboard or Z from your keyboard, it will get activated. Now if you look closely to your icon, you can see a plus sign attached to it, which is inside the circle. And if you click once, it will zoom your canvas. Try it again. So if you click once, it will zoom your canvas. And if you want to zoom out, you just have to press Alt, or for Mac Option. So if you press Alt, you can see the sign has turned to minus. And now if you click, it will zoom out. Click again to zoom out. Now let me zoom in a little bit. And what if you want to pan around? You can go to zoom tool again and click and hold, and it will give you this window which has some extra tools. So second option is hand tool, and the hotkey for that is H. So if you click on this hand tool, you will see this hand icon, and if you click and drag, you can pan around. You can pan anywhere you want, up, down, sideways, anywhere you want. But let me go back to the zoom tool. So if I press Z from my keyboard, I will get the zoom tool. There is another way to use zoom tool. So if you click and drag to right side, it will zoom, and if you go to left side, if you drag your mouse to the left side, it will zoom out. So right side to zoom in, left side to zoom out. It's a little simpler and handy way to zoom in and zoom out instead of the first one. So you can just click and drag to zoom in and zoom out. But this is on GPU preview. Let me show you what I'm talking about. So if you go to view, and if you see the second option, it says preview on CPU. So right now my preview is on GPU, and if I switch to CPU, so after switching to CPU preview, if I click and drag now, it won't zoom in and zoom out. Instead, it will create a selection. So this selection is called marquee selection. And if I release my mouse button, it will zoom the selected area. I can press Alt or Option and create a marquee selection, and it will zoom out that area. So keep in mind that if you are not in GPU preview, you cannot click and drag to zoom in and zoom out. But there are more options attached to this CPU preview. So I'm gonna go to preview on CPU again. And while you are creating a marquee selection, and if you think that you have selected the wrong area, you can always press space bar and drag your selection to somewhere else. Just press space bar and drag your selection while you are clicking your mouse button. And now if I release both, it will zoom in that area. I'm gonna zoom out a little, and there's another option. So if you click and drag, and if you want to escape this selection, you don't want to zoom in, you can just press escape from your keyboard. So if I press escape, it will cancel my selection. I'm gonna go back to GPU preview. So it was all about zoom tool, but what if you are in other tools and you are creating design and you don't want to switch to zoom tool? In that case, so let me select my selection tool, and suppose I'm working and I want to zoom in and zoom out here, and I don't want to go to zoom tool. I can just press Control or Command on Mac plus buttons. So Control plus, and to zoom out, Control minus or Command minus for Mac. And there is one more way. So while you are working, if you press Alt and you scroll, so if I scroll forward, it will zoom in while I am pressing Alt. And for Mac, it will be Option. So Option and scroll. So it will zoom in. And if I scroll backwards, my wheel, it will zoom out. And honestly, this is the most handy options according to me, and I use it most of the times. And if you want to pan together, you don't have to go to hand tool. You just press space bar, and you can see the hand sign, and you can click and drag around. For zooming, Alt or Option and scroll, and for pan, press the space bar and pan around. And if you just press you scroll, it will pan but up and down. And if you combine it with Control or Command for Mac, it will go sideways. So right and left, it will pan. And you can always use the status bar. So if you come here, you can click on this button and drag around to pan for sideways. And if you come here, you can go up and down from this. So this was all about tools, but you can always go to menus. So if you go to view menu, and you can see the zooming options here also. So if you click on this zoom in, it will zoom in that area, and you can go zoom out. And if you select this specific object and you go view and click on zoom in, it will zoom in from that point. And if you select this one now and go to view and zoom in, it will zoom that area. And I'm gonna go back to zoom out once and twice. And you can also use the third option, which says fit artboard in window. So if I click on this, it will fit my artboard in window. I'm gonna zoom in a little, And I can use the hotkey also, shortcut also, which is Control plus 0, and for Mac it's Command plus 0. So if I press Control plus 0 once, it will fit the artboard in my window. And if I want to fit everything in my window, I can go to View and click on the fourth option which says Fit All in Window. So it will fit everything in my window, and I can use Alt and drag to zoom in and zoom out. Now there's another way to use the navigation. So if you come to the status bar, you can see the zoom percentage here. You can click on this arrow and choose the percentage manually. So maybe 100%, and maybe fit on screen from here, and you can go to 150, and you can manually put the values also. I'm gonna go back to fit on screen, and the second option is for rotation. So it will rotate your view. So you can rotate to minus 15 degree, go to 60 degree, and you can use the rotation from here also. So if you click and hold, you can see the third option says rotate view tool. So you can click and drag and on the canvas to rotate. And if you combine it with shift, so if you press shift and drag, it will rotate with the span of 15 degree. And if you go to view, you can change the rotation from here also, same, but you can also reset rotate view. So if I click on this, it will reset my rotation view. And there is a navigation for artboard also. So right now it's on first artboard. So if I click on this arrow, it will go to second, third. And if I click on this one, it will go all the way to first. And for this one, it will go all the way to last. And also you can use the drop down list. So 1, 2, 3, 4, wherever you click, it will go. And you can also type manually. So I'm gonna type 1 and press enter. One thing you have to keep in mind, you should know which artboard you have selected. So if you see this artboard, you can see a black border, a hairline which is black, and if you see to this artboard, it's not black, it's little gray. We can go down and see for this one also, it's little gray, and this one is black. So right now you have selected the first artboard. So if I go to view and select the fit artboard window, it will fit the first artboard. But if I select this artboard now, and maybe this artboard, and if I go to view and fit artboard, it will fit that artboard, and you can see the black borderline here, not on this one or not on the previous one. So you have to keep that in mind, that which artboard is selected and not. And this is it for this lesson. Like the video if you learn something new from this tutorial. Subscribe to my channel so I can bring you more Adobe Illustrator tutorials. And thanks for watching. I will see you soon.